Hello everyone and welcome to today's episode of Beyond the Mask. Today we're going to be discussing Christopher Landon's more recent comments about what he has in store for Scream 7 and what it means for the movie going forward. So before I get into this, let me just explain something first. Scream has had a lot of creative writers at its helm over the years. You know, Kevin Williamson, Aaron Kruger, the entire Radio Silence team, and now Christopher Landon. Now, if you're aware of Christopher Landon's work, he is a great choice for Scream, in my opinion. His movies blend humour and horror quite well, which tends to be a great combination for Scream. But he is a little more on the comedy front, I'll be honest, but I don't think that will be an issue, but I will explain why later on in the video, so just stick around a moment. But with all this in mind, part of me has been curious as to what his plans are. I mean, I'm sure all of us are, right? You know, this is a new director coming on board, but he's also heavily involved in the script, which means whatever his vision is going to be translated on screen. So he did an interview with Craven Something Scary recently, and he gave us a rundown of what he wants to do with Scream 7. Now, if you haven't already checked the interview out, be sure to head down to the link in the description. It's a great interview. But he said this.
I'm really excited, beyond excited. And what I can say, without going into any details, is that my objective, my sole objective, is to basically wrap my arms around all the filmmakers before me in the franchise and huddle, because I think they're all brilliant. And they've all brought so much. And so for me, it's about pulling all of those things together, all those elements together, and then adding my sort of own touch to that.
Yes.
An enhancement, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm here to sit in the audience with all of you and love this movie and this franchise together. That's the goal.
So I'm going to explain in detail what we can take from what is being said. So Christopher Landon is following me on Twitter, and I have exchanged a few messages here and there, and he does have an active presence online with regards to his sharing opinions and thoughts and, you know, so on. But one of the main things from him to take away is that he is a huge fan of the original film. That was partly his inspiration for getting involved in the franchise. He's also friends with Kevin Williamson, as it was actually Kevin who recommended Christopher Landon when Radio Silence stepped down from Scream 7. Now, Christopher Landon has spoken in interviews about how he admires Kevin's work and how it's been influential on his own work. So I think the movie is absolutely in the right hands. He said he wants to be sat in the fan seat with us all and basically feel like he's experiencing the movie with us and enjoying it, which means that with such an active presence online as well, everything that's said or requests that people have online will likely be met by Christopher in Scream 7. Now, if there's any advice I can give, don't go down the route of being too fan servicey. This is my issue with legacy sequel movies. Sometimes it can feel like they're ticking boxes as opposed to writing great stories. To me, the one thing that motivated Scream in the first place was the story behind the movie, and I think that's Kevin Williamson's strong suit. So if Christopher Landon is hoping to include that in his new movie, then I think it will be a solid one. Only time will tell, but I don't think the humour he goes for will be an issue. I remember when Radio Silence signed up, and there was this whole issue of people believing it would be more on the comedic side, because Ready or Not was more comedic, and there's people who worry we could retread the comedic elements of Scream 3, but I don't think this will happen. What you have to remember is that in 2000, when Scream 3 was in production, Hollywood was hit with the Columbine Massacre shootings, which had a huge impact on how movies were made and what could be included in them and so on. That's the reason for Scream 3 having a somewhat lighter tone. It wasn't a creative choice to focus on more light-hearted themes. It was a enforced decision due to the state of the world at the time. But that isn't happening now. and I think now slashers tend to go for a more brutal and darker tone, which is something we saw in Scream 6, so I wouldn't worry about his past works really, but I would use them more as a template for what he can bring. You know, his chase sequences are awesome in Happy Death Day, and he has an interesting creative visual, which could be a huge win for Scream. But I do think we need to focus on a story going forward. And this just may be me though, you know, some of you may just want fan service and to have your favourite characters show up and so on, but I just want a really good story, you know, something to really get lost in. But what are your hopes for Scream 7? I have actually asked this on the community section of my channel and discussed what could be next for Scream and so on, so let me know what you want to see in Scream 7 below. If you're unaware, I'm currently working on a novelisation that will continue the Lakewood story that was set up in MTV Scream. The book will serve as a continuation to the story where it left off in Season 2, and has also been okayed by the showrunners of the show, and will have the official Paramount title attached to it. If you would like early access to the novel, then you can join my Patreon below, where I will be releasing chapters every month over there, so you guys can see how everything goes down before it hits Kindle next year. The first 4 chapters have already been added to Patreon, so head over there to check them out. The link to Patreon is in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on more awesome Scream content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.